So in this video I'm going to be breaking down what is a fair value gap and how you can spot fair value gaps in the market. Hopefully you guys will learn something from this video, and like always, if there is anything else you would like to know, please leave your suggestions in the comments below and I will definitely respond to it. So before we actually get into the chart, let's discuss what is a fair value gap. So a fair value gap is essentially a lack of liquidity where there is not many resting orders in the market. So a fair value gap is essentially a 3 candlestick pattern. So the first point is you have to find the fair value gap. Secondly, you have to wait for price to come into your zone and break structure to the direction that you want to place your sells or buys. So the second step is you have to actually wait for the price to come into your fair value gap, break structure to the side that you want to enter from. And thirdly, after you found those 2 steps, you then wait for the candlestick to close on top of the direction where you want to go. If you are going to place sells, you would want price to come into your fair value gap, tap it, close in the direction where you want to go. After that, you will get into the 1 minute time frame, find another reason for your entry, and then you enter to the direction that you want to go. Jumping in the markets right now, we're finally on the chart. Time where you all been waiting for. Getting into the market, as you can see, there is so much happening, and I don't really expect you guys to know everything that's going on, but in this topic, in this video, we're just going to be talking about fair value gaps. So like we said before, a fair value gap is essentially an imbalance where there is no resting orders to the direction where you want to go. So your imbalance area will be the wick before the big downtrend and then the wick after the big down candle. So you will mark below the wick of the previous candle before the down, and you'll mark the new candle that formed after your big down candle. So as you can see, we mark this area, we give it a push, and this is essentially what a fair value gap is, and an imbalance. They both mean the same thing, so please don't confuse that. So as we can see in this example, price formed an order block here, came down, broke structure to the downside, went down, tapped into our fair value gap, went down, tapped into a fair value gap 2 more times, and then as you can see, price then went down. We took out liquidity from here, but unfortunately we did not get to this area. So let's find another example of a fair value gap that actually worked. Okay, so this here is actually a brilliant example of a fair value gap. As you can see, price consolidated a little bit and pushed to the downside. These areas are essentially your building blocks to enter the market. So you won't essentially just enter just because price came into your fair value gap zone. You would have to find other reasons in this area to actually place your sells. However, in this example, we can see price created an imbalance area, plummeted down. So we then took out liquidity over here. We took out liquidity over here. And we took out liquidity over here. As you can see, just this one candle took out 3 areas of liquidity. After the big downtrend, we can see price then moved up and tapped into our imbalance area. This is usually where most people would start to place their sells. Price above the order block, which we will get into another time. You can actually essentially use this as an order block. And like we spoke before, target liquidity over here. This was the previous liquidity. If we go back in time, these lows here got swept. If we go a bit more back in time, these lows here got swept, and these lows here got swept. And as you can see, price then went running down. This is just a 1 to 2.5. And this is a very light trade. So most of you guys with skill and experience usually will find these types of setups in the market, and once you get used to finding your areas of imbalance, it gets very easy. So when you even go back in time like this, in an area like this, we can see there's a fair value gap here, there's a fair value gap in here, there's a fair value gap up here, there's another fair value gap here, there's another fair value gap here, another one down here, so on and so forth. Not all fair value gaps will work, so that's why I say do not enter your trade just because price came and tapped into your zone. That's why we have our building blocks and we don't just take a trade off of a fair value gap. We have many different types of reasons on why we want to enter the trade. We'll put our stop loss where we want to and target the new areas of liquidity. So that was fair value gaps. I hope you guys understood and enjoyed the videos. Like I said in the beginning, if there is anything else you would like to learn or you would like me to explain, please let me know down below. And like always, I'll see you in the next video.